So today's practice is going to be working with the heart and the small intestine meridian. These two meridians are the meridians associated with the element of fire. And so it goes without saying, the element of fire is the element most dominant in summer. So the total opposite of what we're experiencing right now. Um, in saying that, it's important that we still fan that flame, that inner fire within us. So where there is yin, there is yang. Where there's yang, there is yin. So even though we're moving into the most sort of yin season, it's really important that we keep that inner flame, inner fire going within us. There's a Sanskrit term called mudita, and it basically means to find joy within, especially when our external world begins to give us less. We have less sunlight, the air gets drier, days get a little bit shorter. It becomes even more important to sort of begin to find that joy from within ourselves instead of looking outside of ourselves. So we're going to be sort of diving into that element tonight. Those two meridians both actually touch on the little finger. The heart meridian runs from the chest through the inner seam of the arm all the way through to the little finger. The small intestine starts on the outside of the little finger, runs around the outside of the arm, all the way up through the neck, the collarbone, and then back of the skull. It passes the ear as well, and then heads up through to the head. So a lot more upper body than lower body this week. So we're going to start, when you're ready, in a seat. I'm going to invite you to sit with your legs crossed. If you prefer, if you find that the knees are coming above the hips, by sitting on a block, it's going to give you a little bit more space. You can also maybe try sitting on a bolster if the block isn't comfortable. And then we'll just begin by flipping the backs of the hands so they rest onto the knees, and then lifting the palms up towards the ceiling. And just allowing your sit bones to root down into the mat and then just trace through the back of your spine, all the way through the back of the neck to the back of the skull. Maybe there's a slight tuck of the chin. An invitation to close down your eyes. So we make that shift from our external world and just dropping into that inner space. Allowing yourself to find that sea of stillness. And for a moment, just observing how you're landing, how you're arriving here this evening. Physically, how does the body feel? You might begin to observe the temperature of your body. Are there any places that feel cold, any places that feel a little bit warmer? Drawing your awareness from the very tip of your skull all the way down to the very tips of your toes. And if you observe any places that feel perhaps a little cooler, then you drop your awareness there. Noticing any places in the physical body that maybe feel a little tense or tight. Again, if anything rises to the surface there, if anything comes to your attention, can you intentionally begin to soften into those spaces? And then just bringing your awareness to your breath. No need to change or alter, just feel the natural ebb and flow, the rise and fall. And could you begin to deepen the breath as you inhale through the nose and feel the belly expand? And as you exhale, just allowing the belly to soften. Inhale, belly expands. And exhale, belly softens. With every exhale, you're able to extend it by just a second more. Leaving that length through your spine. And as the breath begins to deepen, can you not only send it into the belly, but expand into your ribs? Feeling the front and the sides and the back of the ribs expand. And as you exhale, the ribs and then the belly softens. Observing and feeling the temperature of the breath and the quality, any textures. And then this time, taking the breath all the way into the belly, expanding into your ribs, and then send the breath into the heart center, into the chest. And then out through the mouth or the nose, exhale, letting the breath go. We work into that 3-part yogic breath. The belly expands, the rib cage expands, and then the chest and the heart center expands. And then slowly ushering the breath out. With every exhale, an opportunity to soften, an opportunity to release. And we'll just stay with this for a couple more rounds of breath. Allow the breath to heat the body, to expand in all directions, and then slowly letting the breath go. Without the need to change anything, without the need to open the eyes, allowing the breath to drop back to a more natural, sustainable rhythm. As we drop the chin just towards the chest. And then as you inhale, if you just roll your right ear towards your right shoulder. And as you exhale, draw the chin towards the chest. And then roll the left ear towards your left shoulder. Right, and then just find your flow with your breath, chin to chest. And inhale, take it over to the right. Exhale. Taking it over to the left. Softening through your jaw. Muscles on the face, the nose and the eyebrows. And then as the right ear lands towards the right shoulder, we're going to pause. So you could stay there, or you could take the right hand over and just reach towards the left ear. You might need to just slightly adjust sometimes, just gently drawing the chin towards your shoulder, tilting the head more on a diagonal can feel quite good. allowing the left shoulder to soften down and away from the ears. And we'll be here for about 60 seconds. Observing and noticing any physical sensation. Okay, and 3 more breaths. Imagining the space between the left ear and the left shoulder, usually getting further away. And then very gently just releasing the right hand. Just allow it to rest on the knee very, very slowly. We're just going to drop the chin down towards the chest. And then just pause there, feeling that length through the back of the neck. And then just rolling the left ear now towards your left shoulder. So that's as a natural rebound from here, taking the left arm, reaching it over towards the right ear. And you could just gently use that connection to slightly deepen the sensation, remembering we're only ever looking for sensation between a 3 or a 4 out of 10. Allowing the right shoulder to drop and melt away from the ear. Releasing the need to analyze or judge, and instead, can you just meet yourself exactly as you are? Taking 3 more breaths. And first of all, just allowing the left hand to release back down onto the knee. And if you gently just drop the chin towards your chest. And you might see there was sometimes just a nod up and down. It can be quite nice. Observing perhaps if one side feels any different. And if you just bring the head back through to center. And then if the eyes are still closed, just very gently beginning to blink them open. So we're gonna make our way to all fours. So there's quite a bit on the knees here, so you've got an extra sort of cut of mat if you wanted to cushion out the knees. You can always use a blanket. As you come through to all fours, just take a moment, spread the fingertips wide, feeling that connection between the palms of your hands, your knees, and the tops of the feet into the earth. Let's take a moment to land. We're going to reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Take a bit of a twist. And then we're going to thread the needle. So posting the right arm underneath your left, and then just drop your right shoulder and your right ear all the way down to the floor. Nice. Now you could stay right here. Just allow the right hand to come all the way to the floor. Option to take a bind. So reaching that left arm round towards your right hip. And bringing the weight into the right shoulder, maybe feeling that sort of expansion there through the back of the body, through the back of the right shoulder, and the outer edge of the right arm, all the way through to your fingertips. I'm going to be here for 2 minutes. So the heart's meridian, so it goes without saying, it's the ruler of the kingdom. It's the central organizer of our being. Not only represents our ability to love and receive love, it's the processor of all our emotions and our thoughts. It sets the steady rhythm of our life and the flames that keep the beat alive. And that inner flame, that inner Shen or Agni, should neither be burning out of control, nor should it be just an ember. But through the course of our life, through different stages, through different periods, that flame might turn into more of a flicker. It gives us the capacity to love, to act, to feel and express joy. And also to really feel connected to the world that we're in, to each other, to ourselves, our environment. So we'll take just 3 more breaths here. And if you're in that half bind, if you just take the left hand back down towards the floor. Nice. And then very slowly, you're going to push into the left hand and then undo the bind. Just reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Take a counter twist. And then just allow the right hands to find the floor. Okay, so we'll go on the other side. So reaching the left arm up towards the sky, find a twist. Good. And then as you exhale, just posting the left arm underneath, drop the left shoulder, left ear. And let that left arm sort of extend to the length of the earth. Again, you might stay right as you are. You might reach that right hand back towards your left hip. And taking your time to find a place physically between a 3 and a 4 out of 10. Allow yourself to commit to stillness. The questions for the heart meridian: really, what brings you joy? And looking past any sort of external joy, really brings you inner joy. Do I easily get enthusiastic? Am I easily thrown out of balance by my feelings? Can I be easily distracted? One of the biggest factors to bring the heart meridian back into balance is play. Do I allow myself to play? 3 more breaths. So if you're in the binds, if you just slowly release the right hand back down to the floor, and then pressing down through the right palm, very slowly unravel. We'll take the left arm up towards the sky and just take a count of this before allowing the left hand to come back down to the floor. And then we'll take a child's pose as our rebound. So just taking the knees out wide, bring the sit bones back towards your heels. Just walk the hands forwards, allowing the head to land maybe on the floor or on a block, on a pillow. And for now, just observe. So from here, if you just come onto all fours, and if you grab hold of your blocks and just bring them out in front, run them about shoulder width apart. We're going to come into a variation of Anahatasana, heart melting pose. So if you just bring the hands to the blocks and then walk the knees back, and then we're just going to bow the chest and the head down towards the floor. So you're looking for a physical sensation through the shoulders and the arms. If you feel like this doesn't work for you, you can always release the blocks, bring the hands to the mat, allowing the armpits to be heavy. And as you drop in, just observing any resistance that might show up physically in the body. It may show up mentally. So there's a second element to the heart meridian, the pericardium, the heart protector, and this is the fascia, the connective tissue that wraps around the heart. And in Chinese medicine, this particular meridian, it represents and covers our ability to hold relationships, closer relationships, the ability to be vulnerable, to let people in, but also to know when to protect ourselves. It's also known as the cardiovascular meridian, to do with circulation, controls our blood flow. And if it is out of balance, we may experience sort of signs of bad circulation, maybe to parts of the body, vertigo, unstable blood pressure. And emotionally, that might show up as lack of drive, hypersensitivity, or being really emotional. So we're approaching the final minute here. If you feel like there's a little bit more space, you could think about bringing the chin to the mat and taking the gaze forwards. And you might feel like the blocks aren't serving you if you want to bring the palms of the hands to the floor. And any other adjustment. If you imagine the length running from your shoulders all the way to your fingertips, sensing the weight of the chest and the heart. 3 more breaths. And slowly, when you're ready, if you just bring the elbows to the mat, bring the palms of the hands to the floor, and we're just gonna slither forwards onto the belly, coming into prone. So you could use your forearms here as a sort of pillow, as a cushion for the heads. Taking the feet a little wider than hip width. Maybe a little knock of the hips from left to right. And just notice any physical sensations for your bones or your muscles. Witnessing any thoughts, any feelings. So our next position is called bird with a broken wing. So we're going to extend your left arm out in line with your left shoulder. And then take your right hand underneath your right shoulder. Good. From here, you're just going to roll onto your left hip and let the left ear find the floor. Now, this might be more than enough. If you're looking for a slightly deeper sensation, you're going to step your right foot over your left and just bring the sole of the right foot down to the mat. Yes, if you think of pointing, if you're stepping the right foot over, if you think of pointing the knee up towards the ceiling. Yeah, and you're looking mainly for a sensation in the inner seam of your left arm. You're looking for a slightly deeper sensation from there. This right hand could reach back towards your left elbow. And if you're looking for a slightly less of a sensation, you just bring more weight into the right hand. As the fascia is a little less dense in the upper body, we'll be here for just 2 minutes. So the pairing meridian is the small intestine. And this meridian emotionally symbolizes our ability to see clearly, see things for how they are. In Western science, the small intestine is the barrier between sorting out our solids and liquids into nutrients and waste. And it also represents our ability to feel connected, maybe to a higher purpose. Okay, just a couple more breaths. And as we come out here, if the right arm is behind you, you're just going to slowly bring the right hand back down. We're going to slowly roll all the way onto the belly. Now the left arm that has just been extended, you're going to take it by the side of your hip and point the palm of the hand up towards the ceiling, and then you can use your right forearm as a cushion for the head. And just let that left shoulder be super heavy here. So if there's any places that you're holding, and if you could physically release and let it go. Okay, so this time the right arm is going to extend out in line with your right shoulder, and bring the palm of the hand flat to the floor, and then take your left hand underneath your left shoulder, and then you're going to roll onto your right hip, so like you're rolling completely onto the right side of the body, and then drop the right ear down. And this might be more than enough, or if you want a little bit more, step that left foot behind and bring a little bit more weight into that left foot. And if you're still looking for a slightly deeper sensation, that left hand comes back toward your right elbow. If you want less of a sensation, bring a little bit more weight forwards into the left hand. So questions for the small intestine meridian. Do I feel embedded in something bigger? Do I feel deeply connected to others or life? Do I sometimes get confused and lose orientation of life? Can I get easily overwhelmed? Take a couple more breaths. And if that left arm is around the back of the body, if you very slowly begin by just moving that left hand, we're going to come to roll onto the belly. And then just allow the right arm to extend by the side of the hip. Flip the palm up towards the ceiling. Let the back of the hand rest on the mat. And then maybe just use your left forearm as a support for the head. And be curious. Can you observe or notice anything within the subtle body here? dropping. So very slowly, we're going to come into Sphinx. So if you bring your forearms, your elbows underneath your shoulders, and just press into the elbows, nice, and then roll the shoulders back. So keeping the upper body here, we're going to take the right knee into a frog position. So you're just going to take the right knee out to the side, and then think about dropping the right hip sort of down towards the floor. You might feel a little something in the hips here, you might feel it in the lower back. If you're looking for a slightly deeper sensation, you could take the fingertips out to 10 and 2 o'clock and lift the elbows off the floor. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. Yeah, remember you're looking to find that edge between a 3 and a 4. There should be some sort of sensation. There should never be pain. And then see if you can soften through the toes, through the fingertips, the shoulders. Observe any places that you're holding, perhaps unnecessarily. We'll be here for just 3 more breaths. If you are up on the hands, just lower the forearms to the floor. Nice. So from here, you're going to push into the palm of your right hand and lift your right elbow away from the mat. Good. So your left hand is going to post underneath the right arm, and you're going to drop the left shoulder and the left ear down to the mat. From here, peeling the right arm back, we're going to land in a twist. Good. So let that right arm open back, yeah. And sort of allow the right shoulder to really drape down towards the floor. Try and keep the right foot connected to the mat. Could always place a bolster underneath the right knee as a bit of support there. Um, you could take the gaze over towards the right wrist, feeling that length and that space run from the heart center all the way to the very tip of your little finger on the right hand. So we're just over halfway. If you need to make any adjustments, now is a good time. If you were to let go 5% more, how would it change the shape? Sensing the density of your bones, each part where your body meets the ground beneath. We're going to be here for just around 3 more breaths. Your mind when it tries to anticipate the next movement, the next doing. And then we're simply going to come to a corpse pose rebound. So just come into lay completely on your back, allowing the right leg to come to the floor. And then resting your hands by the sides of your hips, observing physically, mentally, and energetically as we're going to make our way very slowly back onto the belly. So just rolling over to the right or the left side, take your time. And just coming back through to that Sphinx position. So coming onto the elbows underneath your shoulders. Nice. Feet hip width, maybe a little wider. And then this time we're just going to take the left knee out to the side into that frog position. Nice. And then just allow that left hip bone to be heavy. Allow the neck to be soft. Again, you might stay here if you're looking for a slightly deeper sensation. Maybe pushing into the hands and lifting the elbows away from the floor. Any pain in the lower back, maybe bringing the elbows back down. So you might observe one side feels a little different to the other. And taking that scan to any places that you're holding that maybe you could release into. And take 3 more breaths. And if you're up on the hands, if you slowly lower the elbows down and go together here. So pressing into the palm of the left hand and lift the left elbow off the mat. Posting the right arm underneath. And then drop the right shoulder, right ear down. And then you're just going to slowly, like you're trying to bring the shoulders to the mat, reach the left arm out to the side. Good. Nice. So you might have to roll sort of onto the right hip a little bit. Into that spinal twist. Good. Headed into the final half. You need to make any physical adjustments if you're able to release a fraction more. Take 3 more breaths. And then when you're ready, very slowly just making your way onto your back, allowing the left hip to come slowly down to the earth. In this space, just noticing physically any sensations. Observe whatever you observe, even if you're not sure. So we're going to make our way to Shavasana from here. If there are any other final adjustments that you feel necessary, if you'd like to place anything underneath your knees, a blanket over your feet. Making any final adjustments of the body. Maybe invite you to take the arms out a little bit wider. Bring the back to the hands, to the mat, and open the palms. Find a place that requires no effort to be in. And if you were to ask yourself once more if you could adjust in order to completely let go, allow yourself to be simply resting. I will guide you out.
Truly open your heart. Just quiet your mind. Open your heart. Quiet the mind. Open the heart. When you quiet the mind, you open the heart. You start to love that which you can love and just keep expanding. You love a tree, you love a river, you love a leaf, you love a flower, you love a cat, you love a human. But go deeper and deeper into that love. Till you love that which is the source of life behind all. Don't worship the gate, go into the inner temple. Everything in you that you don't need, you can let go of. You don't need loneliness, or you couldn't possibly be alone. You don't need greed because you already have it all. You don't need doubt because you already know. Confusion is saying, I don't know. The minute you are quiet, find out that in truth you do know. For in you, you know. Plane after plane will open to you. I want to know who I really am. If in each of us there once was a fire, for some of us there seem as if there are only ashes now. But when we dig in the ashes, we find one ember. Very gently we fan that ember. Low on it. It's brighter. And from that ember we rebuild the fire. The only thing that's important is that ember. That's what you and I are here to celebrate. That though we've lived our life totally involved in the world, we know that we're of the Spirit. The ember gets stronger. Flame starts to flicker again. And pretty soon you realize that all we're going to do for eternity They sit around the fire.
Allowing your awareness to come back into the physical experience of your body. Observe the breath, observe your thoughts. As you expand your awareness to the very tips of your fingers and the very tips of your toes. And perhaps just simply allowing a slightly deeper breath. Inviting in any movements as and when you feel ready. You might take the arms over your head for a full body stretch, or just simply draw the knees into your chest. And rolling over to either the left or the right side into the fetal position. When you're ready, very slowly, maybe keeping your eyes closed, just making your way back to a comfortable seat. And just bringing the palms of the hands together at heart center. We close on Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. We just begin by rubbing the palms of the hands together, create a little bit of heat. And once you feel that heat come through the palms of the hands, if you just cup the eyes, just let that heat transition. And keep the palms over the eyes, just very gently blink the eyes open. And then allow the hands to rest by okay.